In the last class, I have discussed about the fixed effect model. In this class, I will basically discuss what are the assumptions that you need in order to a valid fixed effect model. Then I will show how you will derive the parameters of the fixed effect model, how you get the standard error of the estimated coefficients, and how do you interpret the estimator. Then I will show what are the possible examples of such fixed effect model, and then I will summarize our learning over this period or over these sessions. Is it all right now? So, consider the fixed effect regression model. The basic assumptions are conditional expectation of UIT given the XIT, all XIT is 0, that is the XI values are not correlated with the error term, and XIT, XIT and YIT I running from 1 to n are IID and that is drawn from the joint distribution. XIT and UIT have their fourth moments, and there is no perfect multicollinearity in the model, that is multiple of x, and correlation between UIT, UIS given the XIT and XIS and alpha IT 0 is 0 for t not equal to s, and that is there is no collinearity between XIT and UIT. Now, come to the first assumption. UIT has 0 mean given the state fixed effect and the entire history of x's for the state. There is an extension of the previous multiple regression assumption 1. This means that there are no omitted lagged effect. Any lagged effect of x must enter explicitly. Also, there is no feedback from u to future x's. Whether a state has a particularly high facility rate this year does not subsequently affect whether it increases the beer taxes. Now, come to the assumption 2, XIT, all the XIT and YT are IID draws from the joint distribution. This is an extension of assumption 2 for multiple regression with cross section studies. This is satisfied if entities, states or individual are randomly sampled from their population by a simple random sampling, then data for those entities are collected over time. And this does not require observation to be IID over time for state entry that would unrealistic. Whether a state has a beer tax this year is strongly related to whether it has a high tax in the next year. Now, come to the assumption 5, correlation between UIT, UIS given the observation of XIT, XIS and alpha I equal to 0 for t not equal to s. This is a new. This says that given the x's, the error terms UI uncorrelated over time within a state. For example, error term of California 1982 and error term in California 1983 are uncorrelated. Now, is this possible? What enters the error term? Specifically, a snowy winter, opening major new divided highway, or fluctuation in traffic density from local economic conditions. So, assumption 5 basically requires this omitted factor entering UIT to be uncorrelated over time within a state. So, basic assumption is that the error term for a single state, error term at 1982 and error term at 1983 are uncorrelated. Now, for example, what will happen if this assumption is not satisfied? So, if the correlation between UIT, UIS given the XIT, XIS and alpha I is not equal to 0. Now, this is a useful analogy is heteroscedasticity. OLS panel data estimation of beta are unbiased and consistent. The OLS standard error will be wrong. Usually, the OLS standard error understate the true uncertainty. intuition behind, what is the intuition behind that? If UIT is correlated over time, you do not have much information such as random variation as you would where if UIT are uncorrelated. The problem is solved by heteroscedasticity and autocorrelated consistent hack standard error estimation. So, if this assumption is violated, then you have to perform hack estimator for the composite model. Similarly, you can have this cluster standard error for y bar, and similarly you can calculate the variance of that estimate, variance of the y bar, and accordingly get the standard error estimate of y bar, and this formula is the cluster. This is called the cluster standard error formula for y bar in panel, where clustering is done by entity. So, then cluster error standard error for the OLS fixed effect estimator. First get the large n sampling distribution of the fixed effect estimator, and from that you can compute the OLS estimator, fixed OLS estimator beta 1 hat. Now, from that you can have the deviations of the two parameter beta 1, and you can have the corresponding sampling distribution, and you can apply central limit theorem to have the asymptotic distribution of that variance estimator, and you can have the expression for asymptotic standard error of variance of that estimator. Now, case 1, when UIT and UIS are uncorrelated, and similarly you can have when UIT and UIS are correlated, that is the assumption of no correlation between UIT and UIS are violated, then also you can have an expression for estimated variance of the error term, and also you can have the estimated value of the cluster standard error. Now, let us have some observation on the cluster standard error. The cluster standard error are robust to both heteroscedasticity and serial correlation of the error term. Cluster standard error are valid whether t is large or small. If the error are serially uncorrelated, the usual heteroscedasticity robust are wrong. So, if the serial correlation is concerned, what should we use the cluster standard error? Serial correlation is almost always a concern. Now, take some example, drunk driving laws and traffic death. Consider the effect of the taxes on that traffic accident that we have already considered, because approximately 40,000 traffic facilities are annually in USS, and 1/3 of the traffic facilities involve a drinking driver. 25% of the drivers on the road between 1 am and 3 am have been drinking. This is the estimated value, and a drunk driver is 13 times is likely to cause a fatal crash of a non-drinking driver. That is an estimated value. Drunk driving causes massive externalities. There is an ample justification for governmental intervention. Are there any effective ways to reduce drunk driving? If so, what? And what are the effects of specific law? Now, let us have some drunk driving panel data set, and you have the traffic facility death rate, tax on a cause of beer, tax on a case of beer, minimum legal drinking age, and minimum sentencing law for first violation. So, these are the variables which have been included in order to explain the behavior of drunk driving, and the other variables are vehicle miles per driver and state economic data, real per capita income, etc. Why might panel data help in this case? Now, potential omitted variable bias from the variable that vary across the state but are constant over time. The examples are culture of drinking and driving and quality of road. So, these form the state specific fixed effect, and there are some potential omitted variable bias from the variable that vary over time and that are constant across state. For example, the improvement in auto safety over time, changing national attitude toward drunk driving, and these can form time specific fixed effect. So, let us have some empirical finding. Sign of the Beer tax coefficient changes when state specific effect are included. Fixed time effect are statistically significant but do not have big impact on the estimated coefficient. Estimated effect of Beer tax drops when other laws are included in the regression. The only public policy that seems to have impact on the tax on beer, not minimum drinking age, not mandatory sentencing, etc. However, beer tax is not significant even at 10% level using the cluster standard error. The other economic variable have possibly large coefficient, more income, more driving, more debt, etc. Now, let us have the extension of N1 binary regression approach. The idea of using many binary indicators to eliminate the omitted variable bias can be extended to non-panel data. The key idea is that omitted variable is consistent for a group of observations, so that in effect it means that each group has its own intercept. Now, let us have another example, class size problem. Suppose funding and circular issues is determined at the country level, and each country has a several districts. Resulting omitted bias could be addressed by introducing binary indicator, one for each country, omit one to avoid perfect multipolarity. Now, advantage and disadvantage of fixed. Now, let us discuss the advantage and limitations of fixed effect regression. Advantage that you can control for the unobserved variable that vary across states but not over time, or vary over time but not across state. So, you can handle that state specific effect or time specific effect, and more observation gives you more information, and estimation involves relatively straightforward extension of multiple regression. In summary, you can have fixed effect model and can have omitted variable bias. So, you can handle the state specific effect as well as fixed time specific effect, and hence there is some advantage of using panel data under fixed effect assumptions. And great limitations of this fixed effect model is that it needs to incorporate variation in x over time within x, and that is not allowed under fixed effect assumptions. In this class, I have should I start from here? Okay. In this class, I have discussed the problem of fixed effect estimation of the panel regression, and first I have discussed what are the assumption that we need in order to have a viable fixed effect estimation. Then I will consider how do you derive actually the parameters of the fixed effect model, and how do you derive the standard error of the estimator, and then I have considered different examples why actually you use fixed effect model, and accordingly you estimate the parameters by using the real life data situation.